Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I must say that looking out at this audience, I've had the privilege of doing some fun things and interesting things in my life, and this is at the very top, so I congratulate all of you. This is a very special day. I want to thank President Knight for having me here today to speak to all of you. This is going to be about as much fatherly advice, business advice, as I can dispense in a few minutes, but I can't thank you all. Sarah, you did a great job up here this morning. We'll have a job waiting for you soon. You know, when President Knight asked about the availability of speaking, of course I immediately said yes. I've become a big fan of Kendall over the last couple of years. What you do for this community, what you do for our industry selfishly is just incredible, so I want to thank the President. I also want to thank the faculty. I've had a chance to know some of the faculty and the commitment and dedication. I can see now why they teach. I've never had the privilege of standing here before in front of friends and family, and most importantly, the graduates. But I'm sure this is why they do what they do and put their heart and soul into it. So I thank you on behalf of the community as well for what you do. You know, when the opportunity came, I actually gave President Knight not one but two opportunities to find a different speaker. But she did tell me that Kanye and Kim were a little busy. So you were stuck with me today. But I did want to say, as you heard, and this ought to run frequently, this is about you today. This is your day. This is the hard work, the culmination of everything you've done. This is all about you. So my recommendation is enjoy it, savor it, celebrate it with the people that were with you. But at the end of the day, I realized that this was all about your commitment to get you where you are today. And by the way, most importantly, be proud of yourself. Be proud of the discipline it took. Be proud of the support you got from friends and family. However, my recommendation as I start dispensing some of this advice now is use today as the first day as you go forward. Use today as the launching pad for your future. And this is all about you. My other recommendation is we all have people we lean on, mentors, faculty, teachers, friends. Make sure you take this opportunity. Don't let a day go by. Don't let an hour go by today to thank the people that maybe helped you to get where you are today, because we all do lean on that. As a father of 4 daughters, and some of those are here today with me, including my wife, they wanted to make sure I stayed on point about the graduates. I want to especially thank the parents, the grandparents, the loved ones who were there today to get these young men and women where they are today. So a big round of applause to you. Well, as I said to you, I'm a father of 4 daughters, 3 of which are here with me today. My oldest is in Seattle. And I know many of you are sitting there right now, and you're sitting there saying, okay, how am I going to use this as the next step to my career? How am I going to use what I've learned in Kendall? How am I going to use what I've learned in the business world so far to catapult you to the next level? And that's all about taking advantage of what you've learned over the last few years here. For those of you who have secured a job, congratulations. You ought to be extremely proud of what you've done. For those of you who don't need a job, we're all jealous, extremely up here of that situation. And for those of you who have not found a job yet, I encourage you not to despair, because they are out there. And I'm pleased to say a lot of the jobs that are available are here in Chicago. And if you happen to be in the industry that I'm so fortunate to work in, they are available. And the good news, I'm going to share some things with you today, if I may. First of all, you heard from President Knight that tourism is a big industry here in Chicago. And it's getting bigger. 2 weeks ago, I don't know whether you saw it, but we announced the record for Chicago. And I think we're even going to have a little PowerPoint for you today. So for those who thought you were going to get out of a PowerPoint, there's going to be a PowerPoint behind me. But all of a sudden, the industry is very big news for us. We announced the biggest record for Chicago. 46.2 million visitors came to our city last year. And you think about that in the context of Chicago. It wasn't too long ago where we were about 35 million, and through the leadership and support of many in this room and many of our elected leaders, we've moved it to a new direction. If you think about Chicago compared to New York was just 50 million people last year. So it's not bad when you start thinking about what we're doing. In terms of the benefit to all of us in this community, and particularly to the graduates, it's a $14 billion industry. $14 billion. It's $750 million in taxes today, and it's 135,000 jobs for our community. Now, that's good news, and I even have, I think, what is better news. The good news is, as we go forward, under the direction of our team and this community that we work in, and Mayor Emanuel, who's been very, very involved, and he sends his regards and congratulations. He's actually flying back from Israel today, but is extremely proud of what this university has done. We're going to take visitors to 50 million. We're going to more or less take revenues to 16 billion, which is almost unheard of. We're going to take our taxes, which help all of us, and particularly those of us who pay taxes. We're going to take tax revenues to about $1 billion too, revenue coming into the city. And most importantly, we're going to create 30,000 new jobs in the greater city. But where it gets down to all of us today is the fact, I have good news is, and the good news is many of the companies are hiring today. Hotels, restaurants, attractions, museums, theaters, meeting planning companies, tech companies in certain sectors, they are all hiring today. And the onus that I put on you is these companies are hiring. But as we all know, it is a competitive landscape. And they're out there. I encourage you to do whatever you can do to find it. And then, more or less, it's going to be up to you to convince that employer as to why you are the right person for this opportunity. In this job, particularly over the last couple of years, I've traveled frequently. As a matter of fact, I got back from London last night. And I've been in Europe and I've been in Asia a lot. And that old saying about this being a global economy and global society, it is so true. We're operating at a warp speed and a pace in this world right now that I don't see slowing down. So I do think right now, as you move forward, understand the opportunities. Here is my first piece of advice, and that is, as you enter into the world, embrace the changes that are taking place, capitalize on that, and use the knowledge that you've gained here at Kendall over the last years to more or less to your benefit. And I guarantee you will take that opportunity. I told the president earlier when I came, I love this theme, own it. Own it to me is sort of like gets right to the core of I think, business opportunities in life. And what I'm going to talk about today are a few personal thoughts. And they stem from 4 things that are very important to me. One is commitment. The other is attitude. The third are some basics. And these basics that I'm going to dispense are basics according to Don. That's the prerogative the speaker gets sometimes. And then also I'm going to have a couple comments in terms of paying it forward. And my hope will be, as I said to you, I hope you're not viewing this as preaching, but more or less just trying to share some friendly advice and keep you from making some of the same mistakes that I've made in my life. In regards to commitment, this is where I think it's very special when you think of that word commitment. And what comes to the mind when you say commitment? Well, naturally, I think soldiers, I think policemen, I think firemen, because again, they're out there every day protecting our freedoms and protecting us. But I think from my perspective, the word commitment goes much, much deeper. And to me, it's what you're willing to do to achieve your dreams and your desires in your life. And that sort of gets around to the word commitment. And that's going to be a decision that only you can make. It's personal, it's got to come from the heart, and it's got to come from you and no one else. However, I believe when you watch a great actor, and you watch a great band or a musician, or you have an incredible dinner at a restaurant, and I think you realize right now when you have these incredible experiences that somewhere along the way, those individuals, or whether it's a sports superstar, they realized that they weren't going to be ordinary. They were going to do what it was going to take to go far beyond the ordinary and be great. And I also think that in many cases, these individuals, when others were resting and they were sleeping and they were partying and others, these were the people that somehow said, you know what, in order to be great and superb at what I do, I'm going to be in the gym. I'm going to be in the fields. I'm going to be in the kitchen. I'm going to be doing things that somehow, whether in the business side or whether they're in the hospitality side, to get it done. And I think that sometimes on occasion, you're going to see people who stumble in the greatness. They stumble in the wealth. They stumble in the power. But I think if you look at the heart of that individual, the bottom line has come from a hard work, discipline, and dedication to their respective fields. Now, if we could, we're going to talk briefly about attitude. Attitude to me, of all the things, and I'm fortunate right now, we have about 100 people on our team, and I've led some big, big teams around in the world before. But I've always believed, give me an individual with a great attitude, with a balance of education and discipline, I'll take the person with attitude over any time. Now, this is one of the things that's easy to talk about, but this is the one thing that we're in control of every day, every waking minute of our life. However, as we all know, it's one of the hardest things to control in terms of what we do. And we all get a chance to see good attitudes and bad attitudes every day. We witness this. And whether it's stress, finances, personal, the stress you had that was imparted by your professors, whatever that may be, they all determine how you're going to adapt to that attitude for that particular moment in time. However, I'm here to say at 57 years old that attitude will be the difference in terms of jobs, promotions, personal life. The things you've set out to be will come down to your attitude and how you choose to do that. I was trying to think of some simple examples of attitude and how attitude gets reflected in day out. How good do you feel when you walk into your Starbucks and in the morning that barista behind that bar is choosing to say, "Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Nancy. What can I, is it the normal?" And those type of things, they more or less are something. How about when you walk into your favorite bar, much to your parents' chagrin, and you walk in and your bartender knows your favorite drink and there's a smile on his or her face? There are some basic examples of attitude at its basic level. The unfortunate thing in the world that I live in, whether it's in the hotel side, in global companies, I've seen a decline in attitudes when it comes to personal service. And, my recommendation to all of you who've chosen this field is when you can stand out and you can have that attitude, I promise you, you will be the difference. People will recognize you and opportunities will come your way. So my recommendation is be the exception and not the norm, and I promise it's going to pay off on many, many fronts. There is a book called Attitude is Everything by Keith Harrell, who I've given this book out. I think I've probably made him a millionaire over the years in terms of giving the book out, but it's got some pretty basic steps in terms of what you may want to consider in terms of attitude. Now, here's some basics. These are basics, again, I was talking to my daughters the other day about the basics. These are basics according to Don. First of all, there's something I'd like for all of us to practice, and that's smiling. Because smiling is a very, very important, and I Googled this morning, Sarah, as you talked about Google. I Googled this morning that in terms of smiling, it takes 22 muscles to smile, and it takes 37 muscles to frown. So think about it. We all don't want lines and everything such as there. The other thing is, don't let a day go by, as I said to you, without saying thanks and giving thanks to what we've all been fortunate to do. And then here's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Ladies and gentlemen, this does not qualify for a thank you note, a text message. So there's a thing called a thank you note. You can get them for like 20 for $5. And there's things called stamps, and I recommend to all of you. Matter of fact, you may want to start with thanking your parents. It will blow people away, even with bad handwriting such as myself. You'll sit there and people say, "Wow, I can't read what he said, but I know there must have been some good thoughts there." And also, did I mention to you attitude? I'm getting close now. Somebody once told me this is good. Be brief, be good, be gone. And I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I know you got more important things to do. This is a couple things. In this section of paying it forward. You may not know also there's 1.3 million college graduates that come out between 1.3 and 1.4. You think about how fortunate you are to be there today against a population of 313 million people in this country. You are truly the exception. You are truly the smallest percentage there is. So there's a lot of expectations on the greatness you're going to achieve on behalf of society. So when you go out there, again, couple small things. Please do yourself a favor. Don't forget what got you here, but also know there are plenty people that can benefit from your compassion, your experience, your wisdom, and help organizations go forward. And I just ask that you please keep in the back of your mind, because when you do that, you're going to find some fulfillment. You'll find some greater things than yourself, and you will also walk away with great feelings about doing so. Well, anyway, I'm going to bring up just a couple things, and I'm going to wrap it up and let you get on with the festivities of today. And first of all, if you've picked up one thing, I think you basically picked up on the handwritten notes. I'm getting that today. But if you've picked up anything from my discussions today, it was truly, truly worthwhile, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much with this. But here's what I did want to share with you with a couple final thoughts. One, in this crazy world, try to find something that makes you happy. Try to find something that you can't wait to get up in the morning to get to. And at this stage of our life, everybody knows the importance of making money and an income. However, after being in many companies, if you find something that gives you happiness and peace And the reason why you want to get up in the morning, trust me, money will follow. It will follow. And whatever degree you think you need to have that type of income, but money will follow when you find happiness. So that's the first thing. Once you find it, my recommendation is do it with all your soul and passion and enthusiasm. Don't be one of these people that goes through life in a fog. Stand for something. Be accountable. But I assure you, you're going to be, again, the standout in that. The other thing, you heard this thing also, I think you heard it from President tonight, don't be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to fail. Two things have got to happen. If you fail, you learn from that. The president of Ritz-Carlton used to say, in his German appetite, darling, try things, but just don't make the same mistake twice. Try not to do that. But it's amazing when you fail. You don't learn normally when you succeed. You learn from your failures. And you're all smart people that got you there today, but really try different things with the chance that you know you're going to fail. And then when you do fail, pick yourself up and press on. Don't stay down. The other thing is keep a sense of humor. I was listening to a couple college graduation speeches the other day, and do try to keep humor, because without humor in our life and finding something to keep this crazy balance in place, it would be a very, very sad area. And probably the last great piece of advice I'm going to give you as a former hotelier and somebody who runs tourism, do not talk on your phone in the restaurants. It is not good. So, with that in mind, and I want to thank President Knight for having me. I can't tell you how thrilled I am and honored to be here today. I wish you just great luck, whether it's here in Chicago, whether it's around the world. And again, thank you for this opportunity.